everything was so wonderful. The last scene I had with him in the film was just amazing. We did takes for, I don't know, 6 hours.
Hello, everyone. Bilal Azim here from Popcorn and Soda, and I'm very excited to be discussing the theatrical release of the film Conclave, directed by Academy Award winner Edward Berger. We are very fortunate enough today to be joined by one of the stars of the film, Mr. Carlos Diehz. Mr. Diehz, it's a pleasure to have you here today. How are you doing?
Thank you very much. I'm very happy and very excited about this.
Likewise. And hey, it's been quite the exciting last few months for you, eh? With the premiere at TIFF, which audiences were just raving about, and now the theatrical release of the film. How are you feeling over these last few months?
Well, I'm all over the moon. Uh, this is what I was looking for as an actor, and being part of this project is way beyond what I expected. So I'm just elated about it.
Life changed? Is it kind of slowed down after TIFF and now kind of picked up right again with the release? How are the emotions day to day?
Well, they go up and down. Obviously, I mean not really down. I mean they go up and really higher at times. But I take it one day at a time. I learned this from the very beginning of this project. Is the excitement about being with these giants of acting and the director and the producers and everyone. So I just made up my mind. Okay, one day at a time. I don't have really high expectations, but I roll with whatever is going on. So to be able to handle the emotions, and all every day trying to turn the nervousness into excitement.
Absolutely. That's amazing. And right off the bat, I just want to say that this is truly one of my favorite films of the year. And it's one of those beautiful, pleasant surprises that kind of just sneak up on you. And it caught me so off guard for all the right reasons. And your performance is a true highlight,
Thank you.
especially with this. Oh, my pleasure. And especially with this being your feature film debut. So, so
Yeah.
wild. It is so wild. And let's kind of start at the very beginning. What was the process like for you to get involved in such a big scale film?
Well, I began to study acting just a couple of years ago in 2020, actually. This is something I had the itch to go into acting since I was in high school. I was really shy and I was kind of intimidated by the kids in the drama club in high school. So I just postponed it. I had an experience as an extra in a French film about lucha libre, about wrestling. But the moment I had the camera in front of me, I felt so I was shocked about it. Just to think that thousands of people would be able to see me. But at that point, I said, no, this is not for me. I just did that gig and that was it. And then fast forward 30 years later, once as an empty nester, I said, okay, it's about time to learn something new, to do something different, and to be able to meet new people and to travel and so on. So I I thought about my possibilities and I thought, okay, I have this pending matter of acting, so I'll just give it a go, just as a hobby, and let's see what happens. Just to feel better about myself and to take that of my bucket list. But the first coach that I had, it was online because the pandemic hit already. This is a coach in Burbank, Wayne Boone, and he said, if you are doing this just to feel good about yourself or as a hobby, don't waste my time and don't waste your time. This is show business. This is the entertainment industry. So you are your own asset. Cultivate your skills, develop whatever you need to develop, and enjoy the ride. So he gave us really, really useful tools for this trade, this craft. And then a couple of years later of auditioning and getting an agent and everything, the casting call for this project came out. It turns out it was the third round, international round of casting, because they hadn't found the right person. So the casting directors from New York, they found me. They put me in front of Nina Gold, and then she saw something in me. She said, "Maybe this is the guy." They discussed it. They called me. I did one first audition, then one callback, all in self-tape. And then they flew me to Rome to do the final callback in front of Nina Gold, Edward Berger, and two of the top producers. And after that, probably 3-4 weeks later, I knew that I got the role. So that was a 3 months process, almost 4 months for me. And then 2 months shooting in Rome. So I had plenty of time to study the part, study the lines with my fantastic coach James Cott, and we nailed whatever Edward was looking for, to the point that Edward said, "Just do the same. Don't overthink it. Don't overdo it." So that was really surprising for me, and I just tried to stay cool and don't mess it up in front of the camera, and try to do again the same thing over and over. And this couldn't happen with the help of the whole cast. Rafe, John, everybody, even Isabella. I don't have any one-on-one scenes with Isabella. She gave me such great advice with all her experience. So that helped a lot. So it was basically a 6-7 months process until we wrapped up, of constant building confidence and rehashing the skills I already have, and to be able to do it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a chance.
Well, what I love about this film, Mr. Diehz, is that although it's very specific in the nature of the story, the selection of the new pope, it's so universal at its core, but just the human themes and values. It's really a movie about communication, right? And that's what really resonated with me personally, because I didn't necessarily go in with knowing too much about the backstory of how all of this is decided. Mm-hmm. And you don't necessarily need to even be an expert on the subject matter to enjoy this film, right? It's very human in that sense. And what I love about your role as Cardinal Benitez, of course, and again, without getting into spoilers, in different ways, he is a moral compass for the film. And as you mentioned, working alongside with an Academy Award winner in Edward Berger. Can you talk about the process of creating this character, and what direction was provided to you from Edward about this character that really made you connect with him?
Well, when I read the first sites that were given to me for the first audition, I noticed this spiritual depth. After that, I went and read the book just to get more familiar with the character, and I found that is a deep character. He brings this spirituality and this commitment to the truth, and he's willing to support the best candidate in this process, sincerely, honestly, with no agenda, no ulterior motives. And I was given some hints once I made the first audition. They told me, we think about the character in this way. They sent me information about this French priest after the Second World War, that he tended to people who had lost everything after the war, especially priests and old soldiers that were wounded or were just alone. So that inspired me and reminded me of the life of St. Francis of Assisi and St. Ignatius of Loyola. So Benitez is a person of deep spirituality like St. Francis, but he knows also how to lead and how to organize people like St. Ignatius. So he's been a missionary in really, really difficult places around the world, catering for the less fortunate all the time. So this is the combination of these both aspects of the spiritual life, right? It's not just to be deeply spiritual, but also to reflect that into the charitable works of love for the less fortunate. So before the first callback, production arranged a meeting with Edward Berger, a Zoom meeting, to discuss exactly what I had in mind for this character. So I explained to him what I'm telling you, with a little bit more detail and so on. And after he listened to me, he said, "Fine, I like it. Run with it." He said, "That's all. So no direction or anything." He said, "Nope. Do what you do. run with it. So, okay, that's encouraging, but also it's a little bit daunting. It's like, what if I'm wrong? What if I cannot really channel these both parts of such a holy man, basically? But my coach always like giving me hints about focus and intensity and all these emotional motions of the scenes and everything. That was great to be able to portray that. So it's basically this combination of this person that is living the message they are supposed to bring to the humanity every single day. So I've been an outsider in several times in my life, the youngest person in certain work teams or as an immigrant in Canada, doing projects for the Mexican federal government and these types of things. So uh, I channeled that also into Benitez, that he's not part of this process habitually, like Bellini and Lawrence, who or Lithgow's character, who are part of the Curia and the Vatican and the top echelons
Right.
in a daily life. So this is somebody who's just brought into this game by the late Pope because he knows this person is going to do the right thing. So that's a big order, right, to fill. But well, is you trust the process. You trust that the casting director likes you, that the director likes you, whatever direction they give to you on set, and if they're good with the result, it's like, okay, I will not overthink it. I just trust that they like it. They think that's the best for the character and for the whole project, and be happy with it.
Well, as you mentioned earlier, the beauty of this film is the cast itself, right? You have Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow, and of course, spearheaded by the legendary Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah.
Your relationship between Cardinal Lawrence and I feel with Cardinal Benitez, with Ralph Fiennes, it's the glue that kind of holds this whole movie together, in which Rave's character is kind of confiding in Benitez in many ways. And
Yes.
it's ever evolving throughout the film, where from where you begin to where the movie ends off in. So what was it like working with Ray Fiennes and especially those one-on-one scenes that the two of you shared together?
Well, it was the parallelism with the characters was very obvious about this newcomer who nobody knows. I mean, Ray Fiennes is a producer. I guess he saw my auditions, and they took this leap of faith, like Lawrence does during the film. So he trusts that okay, this Benitez Cardinal, okay, he has to be here for a reason. So he doubts, but he takes this leap of faith, accepting him in the process. And little by little, they get this connection, more a friendship between them. And Benitez is just committed to keep supporting him regardless of whatever happens. It doesn't matter if Bellini has suspicions about Lawrence's intentions or whoever is trying to block Lawrence. Benitez is convinced that he's the right choice, and he keeps supporting him. And during the scenes with Ray, he was committed to support him. Everybody in general. I mean, the support from all the cast was fantastic, and we struck a very nice friendship, like true friendship. I keep in touch with most of them nowadays in a very friendly manner. And Rafe, with Rafe, we would workshop every scene we had the night before. We would revise the. I mean, I say we is the rhetorical we because it was Edward Berger, Ray Fiennes, Peter Strahan, Tessa Ross, Mike Jackman, producers also weighing in opinions, and I will just give my humble opinion. If they like it, fine. If it doesn't work, okay, it doesn't work. But we will workshop the scenes to make them the most concise and impactful without being preachy, without going over the top with the characters and the conversations. And in those workshops, Ray would sometimes give me notes about enunciation, since English is not my first language. And I speak Spanish basically all day long here with my family over Zoom and everything. Sometimes I will have some mispronunciation of certain words, and then Ray would be very specific about how to pronounce every single word and tell me every word is precious. So deliver it in the proper way so the people doesn't have to wonder what you say, and they are involved in the emotion of the scene and not worried about what you're saying, how you're saying it. So that advice like that it would seem like basic advice for every actor that we should have figured out. But I mean, in front of these, all of them Oscar nominees, is basically inevitable to feel anxious about doing your best performance. So that will help me to feel at ease in every scene. And after the first couple of takes of every scene I had with Rave, we would get into this very beautiful rhythm and understanding of each other's pauses and cues and when to come in, and everything was so wonderful. The last scene I had with him in the film was just amazing. We did takes for, I don't know, 6 hours or something like that, and we got into this beautiful rhythm, and we would just nail the scene one take after the other and after the other. So Edward was just so excited about he could just place the camera anywhere and he would have the exact same result of the emotion at the end was what was important. And being led by Ralph Fiennes is just a dream come true.
Well, one thing that I absolutely love about this film, alongside with the characters, Ralph Fiennes yourself, is the cinematography and the set pieces of this film. They are both equally as important as Cardinal Lawrence. You really think about it in terms of the character. What was your experience filming in Rome and the importance of these sets capturing the realism of the movie?
Well, you know, when you do an audition, you kind of dress like the character to get more into the character. But once we are on set, when I was in the trailer, I started dressing up as a cardinal and looking at myself in the red cassock and with all the regalia of the cardinals is like it's really powerful, and then you feel more into it. But then walking into these wonderful places, all the locations, these palaces and museums and everything, is like being on a dream. And on top of that, the lighting, the mood, the atmosphere on set was so conducive because you wouldn't feel that you were in real life. It's
Yeah.
like walking into an alternate, a parallel universe where all this was happening. So it was such an immersive experience that everything helped to be in the right mood. But you couldn't help that every time they call cut and reset, just going on this the wonderful shows of architecture and art around you. So it was a whole experience. And then in the days off when I didn't have any scenes, I just walk around Rome, go to the churches and have this experience, go to St. Peter's. So during all this process, probably I went to St. Peter's like 4 or 5 times to get again in the mood and this in the awe of the place and being in Rome. So it was just unbelievable.
Now, just to kind of put a bow on the conversation, one of the thread that we've been speaking of throughout this interview is that this is your film debut.
Yeah.
And what more can someone ask for than to be in one of the best pictures of the year with some of the highest level creatives that there are in the industry? So, for you, Mr. Diehz, what's your biggest takeaway from this
You can
entire
call me
process?
Carlos, don't worry.
Out of respect,
Thank you.
you're welcome. What's your biggest takeaway from this entire process?
The the generosity of the cast. Well, and not just the cast. I mean, from the producers, Nina Gold, Kathleen Chopin in casting, uh, and on set, how welcoming and caring the whole cast was with me. Rafe was the leader in a professional aspect, but the emotional support and the friendship, the close friendship with John Lithgow with Isabella Rossellini and with Lucian Sanari. It was great. Not to say that the other, I didn't have this friendship and this comradeship with the rest of the cast. Everybody was excited. It was amazing, the sense of excitement and the enthusiasm and the passion that everybody put on this. At one point, we were talking with Merab Ninitze and Jacek Koman about how basically all of them have played these villains, assassins, hitman for the KGB, and Lord Voldemort and the Trinity Killer and so on. So these very, very dark characters, now we all had the chance to play this aspiring to be holy man, right? So this excitement was really palpable every single day. So that was contagious, and everybody was so excited and so happy to be there that you couldn't help to just be equally excited about it. So that's the biggest take, is the joy that prevailed from top to bottom in the whole production.
Beautifully said. And Mr. Diehz, congratulations once again on Conclave. It is, like I
Thank
said,
you
one
very
of
much.
my pleasure. It's one of my favorite films of the year, and you're such a shining light in this movie. For everyone tuning in, Conclave is now playing in theaters worldwide, and I highly recommend you go out and watch this film. Wish you all the best with the release, Mr. Diehz, and I really appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time today.
Thank you very much.